Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Football Analytics and Rad Show after like 4 months or so, partly because of me. Mostly because of me. We have a lot of news. We've been having a lot of news, but sadly we couldn't record till now. But yeah, we have some interesting news, I think, which is not being highlighted recently in the media as much because, it is regarding the Indian football right now because right now the main focus is on whether ISL is happening, whether I League is happening, and what do I say, national team chaos. We will come to that also, but be part of the national team chaos. It's mostly just being portrayed as the players being bad or players being lazy, but there are like much more deeper things to analyze in that. As far as like our dear brother Elijah has researched himself, please enlighten us, sir.
So, I mean, to be fair, I have not been very supportive of the new coach since he's come in because I've never liked his style of play. So, anything that I say, you can think of it as unfair criticism or me being prejudiced or being biased or whatever you might want to call it. But his style of football has not been bad. I mean, not been good, sorry. And his results have not been bad, which is why he was chosen, or I don't know what the reasoning was behind him being chosen, or maybe the candidates they got were not good enough from the beginning. So this goes back till that level. So when the new coach came, we thought, okay, things might change because Indian football, as we have discussed in previous episodes, also has always had this weird cabal kind of a system where 3-4 influential people decide everything, and these are not like the dressing room dynamics was badly messed up, and it is open news and everybody knows that. Nobody wants to talk about it because the people involved are quote unquote legends of the game, faithful servants of Indian football, or whatever they are, 100 different things you can call them. After this guy came, it seemed like things will change because he did not call up people like Sunil Shetty and all for those friendlies and all those stuff, because he said, okay, these are not the main games. For the main games, for the qualifiers and all that, we will get him, which kind of made sense. Or maybe there was a lot of pressure from the back for him to say that. For whatever reason, all of that happened. For some time, despite the results not being great, we were drawing, we were against teams we were technically supposed to win against, and all of that. As if that wasn't bad enough, without making this longer, you went and you what lost against Singapore, or drew against Singapore, or some shameful
We
thing you did. I don't
we
want to
lost and
remember.
drew, I think so.
I don't want to. I don't even want to think about it. First of all, how you can do that is beyond my thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
And at least, okay, if you lost or you didn't get great results against teams lower ranked than you, I will still understand if you played good football, if you had the intent. You are playing like a relegation threatened team in League 2 of English football or some nonsense
It's
like
it's
that.
like the ranks were reversed. I feel like India was like the 160s, 50th ranked team, and Singapore were the higher ranked team. Like that's how like they completely, how do I say, dominated India in that game.
These people are not even trying. It looked like, we can't do anything now, we'll just stay here types. It felt like when you're playing FIFA, controller got disconnected and randomly there'll be people moving. No, it was like that. No one was it was so bad. And I'll tell you the more shameful part. Isn't the league
Yeah.
supposed to get us players to come from down to up? If the same people who retired and you called them back for whatever reason, you
Yeah.
got these kind of people, and then also you're not getting results, then also you're playing like dog shit. What is the point of having a league if nothing happens because of the league? Neither are we getting good entertainment, neither are we getting a better national team, neither are we getting the results, neither are the better managers coming through, neither are the games, the quality of the games improving that much. It's like we've hit a plateau everywhere. What is the
Correct.
point of having a league, that too with so much drama? I'm pretty sure we'll get into that at some point in this episode. With so much drama, what is the
Yeah.
point of spending so much in that league when there is so much drama and you not doing fuck all with it? What is the point of so many people investing their time, energy, money, what all into these clubs? I don't even want to get into what is happening in the ISL. after all this happens, okay, so Mohan Bagan said, you guys don't treat our players well or whatever, our players get injured when they come to you and etc. etc. They didn't send their players, which I respect, which is fair. If they are paying the salary, if they are taking all the risk, these guys going on national duty, injuring themselves and losing to shittier teams, where will the stock value of their investments go to?
No, I mean,
I
Mohan
completely
Bagan is
understand.
a different story. I will come to that once you finish. I will come to that particular thing. Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so disrespectful to anyone who sits and watches. Okay,
Yeah.
and the few young players, they did call up. Okay, when they went to what, Thailand or Malaysia or wherever they went to for some games, they called up these players. You made them play, and then they flew back to India to train in Goa or something for the camp, and he sent people back. He sent people back. Why did you call them in the first place if you had to send them back? People who know will know. People who know. Apparent, this news was not supposed to come out, but so many people got to know by the time I even thought we'll do something about it. I mean, genuinely looks like either there's an agenda or he's getting pressure from somewhere saying, okay, only these people have to be there. The other people can't be in it. What the reason is, I don't know. What he's going to get out of it, I don't know. What is happening, I know, is young players are being called up to the national team and they are not being given a reason and being sent back to their camps. It is so disrespectful to the entire fraternity. From the system someone has come through, you've gotten them at this young age, and then you're putting them down and not giving them a reason. You say, okay, you suck, or you say you're not fitting into my system, you don't train well. Some Manchester United excuse at least you give a reason. You can't fly out a person, watch him for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, however long, come back to India and say, okay, you are not good enough. What is the reasoning? Did he not fit into your system? Then the question is, what is your system? Everyone is behind the ball only, no? For people who don't know, just Google it. Just Google it. Such a simple thing. And if you want, I'll tell you the player's name. It's McCartan.
Oh my God.
There are so many things happening behind the scenes. I don't know how that player must be feeling. I don't know how their club must be feeling. Because when the guy got called up to the national team, the Indian football page on Instagram posted a big picture saying, oh, called to the national team. When he made his debut and stepped on the pitch, the Instagram page made such a big hype. For 70 minutes, 3 months, they were building the hype for. And this guy plays what, under 21 or under 23 or something for India. You called him out of that and put him in the national team. So the under 23 team also has lost one of its key players, no? So neither is this team winning, neither is that team winning. And the person who's come through the system and the system that has supported a person to come till there, everything has failed. Because you are not able to judge properly, or I'm not saying a coach should not have the final decision about who should be in his team. He can have whatever decision he wants because it's his team. What is the reasoning behind it? It's like the same thing that Igor's team match did. No, call an astrologer to decide who gets into the team. What difference is there?
Oh my God.
I mean, I can go on this rant for a very long time. Jittu, you can take over.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. You have to say, like, like if you look at from the player's perspective, they would have gone with so much expectations, preparation, everything, and to come just back plainly just. I mean, if you're eventually not going to pick them, why call them up? I mean, like even after, like, I want to divert a little bit to a certain another incident that happened with Mohan Bagan. So Mohan Bagan, as you said, did not send their players owing to the fact that they have to play in the AFC Champions League too, and they didn't want to risk any injury. Because I understand that is also competition, like an international competition, something that is like representing Indian football, and they were in a fairly decent group with a decent shot of getting out of the group stage when you look at compared to FC Goa. I understand that, and what we are expect Mohan Bagan to go play. And as usual, as typical as of Mohan Bagan, they play their first game, and second game they refuse to travel to Iran. I think that's the only team. If I'm not wrong, I think Saudi and Iran are like bitter rivals, and they're having matches between themselves. If it is any political this thing, they happen in closed stadiums. If those teams can go and travel, I do not understand why a team like Mohan Bagan, who supposedly claim to be the best. I mean, they were the best team in this thing, but yeah, they call themselves national club. If they are showing this level of this what do I say, responsibility. I understand if they're saying, if they're concerned about their foreign players, this thing, if I'm not wrong, once Mumbai City played that time, that too in the first year in the AFC Champions League, they played with just what do I say, only Indian players, if I'm not wrong, because their foreigners couldn't get what do I say, because of safety concern, they sent an only Indian team. At least, I mean, they didn't behave like cowards. And this is literally what the Iranian media was telling about Mohan Bagan, because this is the second consecutive year they are doing the same thing, and this is despite them getting a direct slot. Now this is directly going to affect Indian football, and there's potentially AFC. I'm not sure as of now. They could be banning Mohan Bagan from AFC competitions for next 1 or 2 years. Hopefully, it doesn't come on the entire league. And the irony is that Mohan Bagan took all these players to play this competition, which they didn't play. And instead, because these players are not sent, this guy picked few players, a few, what do I say, players who usually wouldn't be in the mix of the national team, like for the players like Justin. So these players, as soon as Mohan Bagan were out of this competition, suddenly he sent off these players back and picked the players from Mohan Bagan, like your likes of Sahal or your likes of Colasso. These guys got called up. I do not understand the whole point. So what does it make of all those guys who who dedicated their time to the national team, all those clubs who send expecting that at least they'll get some priority for and picking up players from a club who refused to go, and these players also didn't want to go. I do not understand this at all. So this is like a little bit too much like diverting towards Mohan Bagan, but in the end, it's like again coming to the coach Khalid Jamil.
I mean,
Yeah.
this guy is from our system. No, he is supposed to know Indian football better than most of these so-called foreign managers or whatever, because these guys also have spent the last 6 to 8 years in our country, so they must at least understand a little bit of our system. This guy was supposed to be the person who understands the ground reality of what Indian football is, how it works, because we've kept having national coach after national coach who are not from here. They were still in the system for some time, or they were a part of the system at some point to understand what is happening. But this guy was supposed to be better. He was supposed to be different. And this guy is... it's pointless. I don't know what he's doing. The only personality that he's instilled in the national team is that we are a defensive haram ball team like every other team that feels inferior. They feel inferior when the team is getting selected only. Forget about going and walking out on the pitch. They don't have the belief in themselves when the team list is being announced only. They are like, chumma, we are going, we'll go get one participation medal and come back. It's horrible. Like, there's no drive from anyone. And see, now we say, okay, we are not having enough forwards to replace Sunil Shetty or whatever, for whatever reason, etc., etc. All these years, when you had the chance to promote someone, you chose not to promote them.
Correct.
And now that the system to make these players, because for the clubs or whoever is trying to train these people, to train an Indian born forward, attacker in any field, it's not lucrative anymore, because these guys, they can just get a foreigner and play there, because these guys are not going to get into the national team. And for the system also, it makes more sense. If one guy only is going to play till he starts walking in his crutches or his walker, what is the point of training anyone else in that position? Just get a foreigner to play there. So that's what has been happening. And now we don't have proper forwards to play. And then whenever Chetri is not on the pitch, you are like, when Chetri is not on the pitch, there are no goals.
Because you're not allowing...
There are no attackers. There are no attackers. If Chetri is not on the pitch,
allowing them to
no one
play.
scores. Yeah, he is playing. And I'm not saying, see, people are like, okay, yeah, you should not disrespect him because he's done a lot for the game, etc. This, this, all of that I understand.
I mean, he acknowledged that and he decided to step down and then he came back.
Oh, apparently AIFF called him back because there are no other goal scorers. There are no other goal scorers because they're not allowing anyone else to play.
Let people to develop. How long are you going to leech off this guy? What the hell?
No, and at some point, see, he at least stepped away. After you call him back, why will he step away again? And see, their argument always is, you put Chetri there, he will score. You put Chetri there, he will score. That's because there are no other attackers. Our attackers are all substandard, subpar quality. because they are
Correct.
not being actively developed. Whoever
Correct.
attackers were there, you've converted them into attacking midfielders or wing backs or whatever else you've made them.
Correct.
If you keep doing that and then you are suddenly that Pikachu surprised emoji, why don't we score goals other than when Chetri is there? Not only is it credit
Yeah.
to Chetri's experience and his game presence and whatever else for him to score, it was also that there are nobody else in that position. It's like trying to put a round peg in a square hole. No. Square peg in a round hole. Yeah, that's the one. It will never work. And this is a rot in the system since so long. Enough
Correct.
of blaming the federation, saying that these guys don't give this resource, these guys, our fans don't give support, we don't get money, this, that, and all. When the chance comes to do something, nobody does anything. And then always go back to saying that the system is like this, that is like this. Excuses 10,000 we will find. I think that's what makes us Indians. Even if they don't make excuses, we will make excuses for them.
Yeah.
Always staying content, always okay with losing, always being see, underdogs are people who have the potential and are not living up to it. We are not underdogs, we are just a bad team. We have been for quite some time. There's no
Yeah.
point of
Correct.
labeling ourselves as the underdogs, against this underdog, against that. If you're
I
the
mean,
underdog every single time, you're not the underdog anymore, you're just bad.
it's been a downhill since Constantine left. We have not climbed up anywhere. I think our highest was like what, reaching 97, 98 or something. That was like the peak of this thing. That's when we actually won a game in the Asian Cup. I mean, at that moment we thought, okay, there was going to be a rise, and then it's been downhill. I think there's not nothing. We'll leave all this CAF Nations Cup, all these other Asian Cup we qualified. All those were like there was subpar or substandard performances. Even the previous Asian Cup was a disaster. And ever since then, it's been even more like spiraling down, like bottom. The league is also not working. I don't think there's been any progress. I mean, since like let's say the last president, people said like after Praful Patel is gone, things will get better. I don't see anything better. Vision 2047. They're supposed to meet one of their targets in 26 to be like among the top four underage teams in Asia. I don't see anywhere there. At least mostly in the men's part.
No, and you can't even say that our system is not producing good enough people. The Minerva Academy went and
Yeah.
won one of the most prestigious youth academy tournaments in the world. And it's all homegrown
Yeah.
players because we don't allow any OCIs to play in India. Which means our
Correct.
country does have the capacity, because players who play in tournaments like this are your Angel Di Marias, are your Karim Benzemas, are your Erling Haalands. All of them have come out of playing
Correct.
tournaments like this that Minerva just went and won. And our boys didn't just
Correct.
win it,
Correct.
they humiliated everyone on their path to that trophy.
Yes.
Which means we have the capacity. What happens after a certain age group, I don't understand. I have seen
It's like there is
fantabulous under 17s, but in the no one
yeah.
makes it past that under 20, under 21. What happens to all
Correct.
of them?
No,
I'm not
no under
understanding.
20, sir. There's no under 20 like that. There is no step beyond the under 17. I'm not even telling. India has always like competed amongst the best in Asia, at least in the under 17 level. Like most, like we have like produced like good talent, at least in the recent past. But once these players cross that, there is no clear pathway for them to go anywhere. Because in AFF or like academies have not provided them a clear path to go to Europe. Some of them have to take their own risk, or even like some top leagues in Asia also. Let's say the likes of Japan, Korea, they can even go there. But no, there is no pathway there. And if you look at another way, then their only other option is to go and focus on the ISL. So now their goals and dreams have become substandard. Once they get into the ISL at one point, they get paid so much that they would think like, why would I take the risk, get paid much less, and let's say pay in, let's say, Germany's third division or like England's fourth division or something like that level. They would think like that, and like it's a risk for the risking. And okay, I mean, I understand financial thing is there, but there is no progress in that. And because of this thing, what do I say, we keep most of our good players become substandard over time, sadly.
It's worse than sad, sir. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, we went off back to the system when we were just talking about Khalid Jamil.
Yeah.
And I without being overtly specific, I
Mm.
feel like he's very biased. Either
Okay.
based on caste or creed or religion or what he is biased
Okay.
in. I don't understand what exactly it is, and I
I
don't
heard
want
he's
to
not
say
taking
it.
up players from Northeast anymore. I mean, he's cut down a lot.
And that's what, there are so many other biases that people point out. I don't know if those are valid or not, or even if he thinks about them, or what the
Yeah.
thing is. But I mean, when people start saying things like that, is when you start losing street credibility. And once you lose credibility, it's not easy to get it back,
Correct. Correct.
especially in a very toxic environment like ours, because fans also get angry because they are not seeing anything. How long will people stay patient for? How long will people keep supporting you? Some point you have to show them something. No,
Correct. Correct.
I mean, Khalid Jamil, everyone was a little bit excited that okay, something different is going to happen. It still seems like there are certain stereotypes that he's preferring. Like he pointed out, Jittu just pointed out. I don't know. There seemed to be a clear bias for a certain group of people based on either again where they come from, or what religion they believe in, or what color they look. I don't know what it is, and I don't want to say it also because it's very, I don't know. It just
Sensitive.
feels sensitive, and I don't feel like saying it. It feels very cheap to say something like that, but that's how it
Correct.
looks. And if it looks like that to people on the outside, I wonder how the environment inside the dressing room is. I wonder how it
Yeah.
is for all those people off who have the caliber of playing at that level, is how they feel. And
Correct.
this is just not done. And some shame people should get at some point. I don't know what to say. I'm not saying that he is overtly biased. I'm saying this is what it looks like outside. He may be,
Okay.
he may not be. I have no idea. But that is what it looks based on all the news that is coming outside. And if you
Okay.
don't believe me, go scroll on any Indian football page on Instagram, go read those comments. Every
Okay.
single post is full of divisive fighting, people hurling what allegations against each other, and so many conspiracy theories floating around.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. No, the football community is so tight knit in India. We may be divided on so many other things, but once a rumor starts off and it spreads like that, and a lie told enough number of times, people start believing it's the truth. So it doesn't matter if he did it or not. Right now, the talk is that something like that is happening, and that itself is enough to cause so much disarray in our system, especially given our current political circumstances around the country.
Correct. Correct.
Okay,
I
I don't
mean,
want to talk about this anymore, sir.
yeah. On the other side, on the flip side, there is actually some light. I mean, something good to feel about if you're an Indian football fan. I'm not sure how many of you follow the Indian women's football team, but they've done something quite incredible. I would say, like, I mean, first of all, like, even I do not follow the women's team as such. I just keep to the news, but one particular thing that recently happened was like all three age categories, the senior, under 20s, and under 17s, have all qualified for the respective Asian Cups at the same time, which means all three have a fighting chance of at least, what do I say? There is a probability of, let's say, reaching the World Cup. And this is despite giving much less money, much less attention. Probably the only good thing they have done is to establish the IWL, at least providing them with a league.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, so somewhere, and they have actually risen in ranking. I think they are under 60, like around 50, 60, floating in between the rankings. So that has actually increased. They were ranked like 67 or something. So they've increased in ranking. The coming, let's say, the national team when qualifying for the Asian Cup. Mind you, the Women's Asian Cup has only 12 teams in it
so
when
it's
compared to much
much more difficult to get in.
much more difficult. Yes. And India, they not only finished top of the group, they beat like one of the, let's say, best teams in Asia. I mean, outside of the, let's say, the top three: Australia, Japan, Korea. They beat Thailand. Thailand, mind you, is a team that qualifies for World Cups, like at least like 2 3 World Cups. The past 2 3 World Cups they have qualified. So they have beaten Thailand. That too quite like convincingly. And I wouldn't say, like, it's not like it was a fluke. And they beat them out in goal difference also. They've beaten the other teams in the group also quite convincingly, and they've qualified. I think for their first Asian Cup, if I'm not wrong, in quite a long time. So if out of these 12 teams, if India manage to reach the quarterfinal, they have a chance of reaching the World Cup. Like the top four, the semi-finalists qualify directly for the World Cup, and the other four teams, the losing semi-finalists. Yeah, hello,
Yeah, I can hear
am I
you. I can
audible?
hear you.
Yeah, okay. The losing quarterfinalists, my bad. So the other four teams, let's say out of the top eight, they go through a playoff, out of which I'm not sure how many teams get to, but there is still a chance of qualifying for the World Cup. So if India manages to get out of the group, I mean, I'm being very optimistic, but if they get out of the group, there is potentially a chance. That's like much more closer than the men's team has ever gone to qualifying the World Cup in like last 50, 60 years, if I'm not wrong. And if you look at even more to the under 20s and under 17, they look even more promising. They look even more promising, and they actually in that competition also it's similar. The top four will qualify. So I think the under 17s in particular, I would say have much better chance than the senior team. So this is like I don't know how to put it, and I can't even find an exact reason why this is happening, because everywhere else in Indian football it's collapse. Even in the Indian women's club game also, like the certain teams like have been doing well in the AFC Women's Champions League. They've consecutively qualified for it, the Indian champions, and they have actually put up a decent performance. At least got a win in the group stage. Mind you, even the Women's Champions League has much less teams than the male counterpart. So
Hmm.
it's putting to at least like Indian football in the women's sense is among the top 10 at least in Asia in the women's sense. So do you have anything to add on, like why is this happening?
I genuinely don't know why this is happening, but there are a lot of there's a lot of investment going into this, particularly in the state where I'm working right now, state of Karnataka. The women's
Okay.
football scene is proper, and I feel when they say Bengaluru is developed, this is what they mean. I mean, maybe not the whole of Karnataka, but at least the Bangalore Super Division, the Bangalore's women football scene is
Yeah.
proper. And when they say football is developing, football is catching on, this is what I want to see from everyone.
Correct.
Like, women's leagues are proper regulated with proper clubs who have proper training facilities, who
Yeah.
properly invest. They give scholarships to local
I
players
mean,
so that they come
the
out to play. They
correct,
have,
correct.
it's all inclusive. They have women physios, they have women staff to take care of them. They make it a safe space for them. Like, recently I attended a conference where we were talking about different challenges that entail women's football. I don't want to go to too much depth about all of those challenges, but like, there are so many sensitive things given how sport is regulated in our country, and women don't find it safe, either because of the authorities or whatever other contributing factors. And there are so many things that these people have to keep in mind, which makes the women's league in general, or to run a women's football team itself, so hard. A team in women's sport itself is so hard, especially in football, where you might have to travel here and there, especially if it's something like the IWL. So the IWL 2 happened in only one place, but eventually the plan is to expand the league to a capacity where people actually have to go around and travel around and all of that stuff. So yes, it is so much more work, logistics, encouraging the parents to let the girls out to play, talking to the girls, making them believe that they can play. It's so difficult, because for guys it's so normal. You will see 10,000 fellows going and playing out on the streets. How often have you seen a girl go out and play?
Correct, correct.
And despite that, when they make it, their salaries are nothing compared to what the men
Thing.
make.
I mean,
Nothing. The
I mean
prize
that's
money for this tournament itself is nothing compared to the men's tournament. And again,
correct.
the argument might be that, okay, these guys don't get in as much cash by sponsors or viewers or whatever else. But if investing into something is, and you're looking at returns as a pure standpoint, you're investing close to nothing in women's football, and you see what results they are getting. Meanwhile, you're pouring love,
Correct.
support, money, everything into men's football, and you see what we are getting. So, even if you're looking at a profit or a revenue standpoint also, or what it is getting into the brand of Indian football, the women's football is still doing a much better job. Their facilities are less, their opportunities are less. It's so difficult, and still they are doing more. Some shame you should get at some point, some little bit of shame. I've seen people posting and saying that the women's football scene in India, at least the national team, needs a separate page because of how bad the news is on the men's national page. If
Men's
if
league,
you make
men's team, everything.
if you make a women's football, like official Indian women's football team ka page, national team ka page, there'll only
Yeah,
be positive news, especially since 2024 and 2025. They've consistently outdone themselves.
correct.
We've always had the belief that our girls can play well, but these guys have even superseded those
Surprised, like,
expectations.
no, the fact that when I saw the news, it's like I was surprised. Okay, I knew okay they were better than how the men are, but not this much. I didn't expect this. I didn't, let alone them qualifying for the Asian Cup. That was like beyond wildest expectations. I think for a if you you might think it's not a big deal, but when you go look at the details of how tough it is, and when you do the research, you'll start to realize it's quite remarkable what they've done. Especially like even the women's team was going through a transition phase in which a lot of senior players were leaving and a lot of youngsters were coming in, and the faces of the team were also changing. So despite all that, they managed to done like outdo themselves like by a long shot. And even if you say, let's say okay, even I might be one of those people who might say, okay, women's football does not produce the product enough to get the amount of money men's do. But in this case, I would say like that is not an excuse you can use, because the reason I would tell is that women's football still does not give that comfort zone in let's say in the domestic league where you can just settle there, have enough money. No, they still have to look abroad to earn money, and which is why you see so many of the women, not even one or two, I'm telling, there are like multiple people in the women's national team who play abroad. And like one of the star players who's been playing abroad like for like 2-3 seasons now, she's already won a title there. I mean, I'm not saying it's like amongst the best leagues in Europe, but nonetheless it's a higher level than India.
Who is this?
So
Who is this?
yes,
No, no. Who is the player you're talking about?
Manisha Kalyan.
Okay, yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I think she's playing in Cyprus or something if I'm not wrong, but still that's like a much better run league than this thing. And also they have having yeah, so coming to the men's, this bubble is there, and which is why they end up, even how much of it good they were promising where they end up in that same level, that average level for the national team, and they end up staying there. They never know what their potential is, and they're never going to reach their potential. So if you look at I don't know how that's going to shape up in the future, because literally all of our neighboring countries, your Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and to a huge extent Bangladesh, are allowing overseas citizens, giving them citizenship and are integrating them, and that is doing like much, how do I say, wonders for these teams. They suddenly started playing football. I mean, the Pakistan doesn't have a league with just a few what do I say, overseas citizens playing in like much lower leagues, semi-professional leagues in England and other European leagues. They're able to match India in terms right now if they play each other, because they've done better than India in their AFC qualifiers. And Bangladesh, I don't know, they barely missed out. How do I say? They actually played very, very well. They barely missed out. And if you look at the general trend in Asian countries like the likes of Singapore, the team we lost to, they are also using OCI players. So I don't know what they're going to do. Either they'll have to radically strengthen the, what do I say, pathway for the youth, the league, everything, to, what do I say, mass produce, or they have to have some sort of tie up with at least how the the Thailand league used to have with the Japan league, where their talents get priority there, they get a lot of exposure there, which in turn has led, how do I say, improved the Thailand national team. And they are like one of the other few teams other than like India, who still don't allow the overseas citizens to represent them, and they're still developing, but they're at least doing something better. And the overall their competition structure is also better than the SAF region. So I don't know how they're going to do that right now. I do not expect any of these to happen. The only other way that India is going to be relevant is if they are going to allow the overseas citizens of India, like OCI card people, to come and play. That is the only way the national team is going to look better. But at this rate, I am not expecting anything unless like we are like extremely hopeless. Only our government or anywhere it is, they're going to rely on that. Although I've heard recent news, because India is like trying to bid for the Olympics, they're trying to allow foreign born Indians. They're making exceptions in sporting criteria. Like how, I don't know how it is going to work. It's not been clear if it's whether dual citizenship or like in particular cases some special consideration they are giving. So that we'll have to wait and see. But either way, teams around us are like catching up and they're going to overtake us soon. Even the likes of Nepal and Bangladesh. Bangladesh is already there. I would say Bangladesh is better than us right now. If we play them in a bilateral right now, if like a home and away format, they are going to thrash us. This team, we don't stand a chance. So it's matter of time when other teams also start catching up. So yeah, so that is my take on this women's and men's. Okay, why they are how do I say? One side is striving to get better, and one is happy with the mediocrity.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's a good TLDR.
correct. Sorry, thank you.
No, and the thing is also the
Yeah,
motivation is very very different right now.
yeah,
Earlier, football was not so commercialized, no. So the goal for people playing football would be to get a government job, go join
correct.
the army or join the railways or something and that like that and play for them. Now it's more
Yes,
commercialized and people can dream of settling down and becoming full-fledged professional footballer, professional it seems, professional footballers who play for clubs and stuff like that. For women,
correct.
still I think for other than like most of the urban population, most of the people coming from smaller towns, smaller villages, states which don't have as much this thing commercial football in them, for them still
Yeah,
I think the allure of getting these government jobs, getting the bank job or getting something like that is still the allure. So there they still have
mm,
that drive to do something, get themselves, their families out of poverty, do
mm,
something for other girls in their area. There are so many things that these people think of which men usually don't have to think of, and especially given the current football scene, they don't have to think of at all. And I'm
correct.
telling you, if we look up the statistics right now of how much the urban rural split is, not only for
Mm,
women footballers, but like footballers in general, there are at least I'm saying 80, 70 to 80% who come just out of the urban zones because it's convenient for them to play. They have that
play.
fallback option saying, okay, yeah, even if it doesn't succeed, my family has this business which I can do.
Correct, correct.
Which, and if you take the women's football side also, right now there's a lot more contribution from the northeastern states. Like if
Yes,
you look at half of our
especially
national
Manipur.
team, I was about to say half of our national team is from Manipur,
Yeah,
a state that is
not
not
half, sir.
getting.
I think it's 70%.
No, that's what a state that none of us bat an eyelid about when we talk about save people there,
Yeah,
save people here, and all. A state that is the region of India that all of us group together as one when there are
yeah.
so many
Stereotype.
distinct, yeah, there are so many distinctions between them, there are so many distinct personalities within them, we group them all together. This
Correct, correct.
small pocket that we are willingly choosing to overlook is
Yeah,
has so much representation in our national team and representing India to the world outside.
yeah.
And then they have so many reasons to push, and then we ask why is our men's national team not performing? Because they don't have that drive. Their
Correct.
incentive to perform, get better is not there. It is not there. They don't want to. They don't want to get better. They don't want to do better because they're
Yeah.
not incentivized to. Like Jittu had said, mediocrity is being celebrated, so that is what will
Yeah.
continue.
I think it's like it's time people started realizing this and like stop boasting about these players or glorifying these people. And once if people start reacting, okay, there's no point in watching this league because these guys are not going to do anything for the national team. They're not going to even play with half the intensity there. I mean, in this case, in their defense, you might say like they're getting pennies paid playing for the national team, while the club gets all these things. I mean, do you think like players like let's say like of Mbappe or Ronaldo, they play for the national team with that much intensity because they pay better? Definitely, they also will get much less, very less. They don't even consider that much money as a national team. don't even take the money salary they get from this thing because it's very negligible. They still play because they're representing your fucking country. Like, have some seriousness about it. Like, I don't know where it has gone. Like, some people just say, okay, I mean, again, it's come to a certain group inside this thing, inside the national team, where how do I say, they think that their place in the team is like certain. So I don't know. It's this that level of stagnancy,
I
sadly.
I don't want to say anything more about this. I think we've covered a lot about Indian football without talking about the ISL itself, and which is so beautiful.
Yes,
And I don't
yes.
think we should be talking about ISL in this particular episode,
Because
because that in itself
ISL
will
is not
take me two
started yet.
working days to talk. Oh, that'll take us two
uh,
working days to talk about what all has happened. But before
yeah.
we wind up this episode, I want to point out to everyone we were the first to announce that FC Hyderabad is dead.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so many people, including professional footballers, have said, "What nonsense are you talking about?" But
Yeah.
here we are. The new
Yes.
Sporting Club Delhi has started playing yesterday, losing to Mumbai City FC in the Super Cup.
Super
But
Cup.
see, I told you it would happen. It's the exact
Yes.
same players who've moved there. The club has
Yes.
rebranded. So FC Hyderabad is dead. Let's see what happens
Yes.
to Sporting Club Delhi and how that city responds to them. How
Yes.
that brand is being built by the new owners, Jindal India. And that's
Yes.
again, the ISL should be just a recurring series every week so we don't have so much piled up to talk about, because
Yeah.
there's so much happening in Indian football and
Drama.
people say there's no football scene in India or the football scene in India is not good. No,
I
brother,
think,
just look at the news.
yeah. I think even the news, I mean, recently only started coming. I mean, just because, I mean, we started like having little interest, our feed is like coming with these things, and we are like engaging with people who are in Indian football they're getting. I mean, the general public is
Exactly.
not aware of such because they have like, I don't know. I mean, again, the political scene in the country is not at all that great. So this is also quite big that is happening because I think this is like a gigantic scam that is happening in like Indian sports industry, and football is like in the center of it right now. So yeah, right now, I mean, the youth looking at this like, why would I even want to take up this sport? I just play it as a pastime, and they'll be losing interest. I'm not saying in general everywhere it's bad. Like when the national body itself is bad, there's only so much like certain people or certain state associations or like certain individuals can do to affect the outcome. So yeah, I think that pretty much sums up everything we have to talk about Indian football, the goods and the bads. And anything else to add?
For the Indian football side, excluding the ISL, that's it, sir. We've talked about a lot. It's become a
Yes, I think
45-minute rant.
yes. So yeah, I think that pretty much brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you for watching. If you're still subscribed to us, thank you again. After like 4 months, you're still there. And any new subscribers who have subscribed, thank you for you as well. Do share, like, and subscribe, and yeah, comment also.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah,
please comment. There's no interactions, no one will watch the video.
yes, please.
Bye, sirs.
Yeah,
Bye,
so
sirs.
bye bye, guys.